Suicide Squad makes me want to commit suicide. I hate this movie. I hate this movie a lot. I think this movie is just horrible. I think one of the things that's hilarious to me about this movie is how I can just watch any bad movie, and any bad movie has the same flaws as Suicide Squad. I mean, everything about Suicide Squad, anything that could be wrong with the movie is in Suicide Squad. It is horrible. Number one, the editing is atrocious. They got a trailer company to re-edit the movie because they were mad that it wasn't fun enough. So they made it look fun enough, but they didn't make the movie look brighter because the movie was ugly. If you watch this movie, it's dark. It's I don't mean like, oh, it's dark in tone. No, I mean like it's literally dark. Like you cannot see what is happening because it's ridiculously dark for no reason. And the writing is atrocious. No one, they have no reason to bring these characters into the universe. Now, there's a way to bring the Suicide Squad into this universe if that's what they wanted to do, but the way they did this is terrible. Because the fact that um, basically they're like, what if Superman turned bad? Cool, but it doesn't matter if Superman turned bad because that wouldn't do anything. It would not do anything. Okay, Harley Quinn is just a crazy woman with the baseball bat and all that stuff. You know, I know these are points that people made before, but they are issues with this movie. And just the songs, great songs. I love Bohemian Rhapsody as much as the next guy, but then it's like it doesn't fit the movie, and it was clearly like, hey, we want this to be Guardians of the Galaxy, so let's put a poppy soundtrack. Well, they didn't understand. Guardians of the Galaxy has a great soundtrack, but it fits the movie. Like you can remove the songs out of the movie, sure, but it wouldn't work very well, like if at all. So, I just that is terrible. And then there's also the fact that um, I don't know, just there's also the fact that this movie is just really long. Now, to be frank, I did watch the extended cut. I don't know. I guess I just never watched the extended cut, but the extended cut is terrible. So is the theatrical version. Both versions are terrible. The extended cut really doesn't add anything. There's not more scenes like the Joker, which is I think what most people would have wanted. But why would you? But I'm not mad at Heath Ledger, or not Heath Ledger, Jared Leto for this performance because we don't really see enough of his performance for me to go, wow, that's a bad performance. But his character looks freaking terrible. I mean, he has damage on his forehead because he's damaged. I'm like, what? They're just bad decisions. We'll see how it works out in the Snyder Cut. It's clear that there was something different going on. I think David Ayer keeps saying all the time that they could have made a good version of Suicide Squad if they had made my version of the movie. There's a good version out there, the David Ayer cut. It's not gonna happen. I could be wrong. I mean, I was wrong about the Snyder cut, but the David Ayer cut seems like such an idea that's ridiculous to me because look at it this way. See, the thing about the Justice League movie is nobody liked the theatrical cut of Justice League. And when I say nobody liked it, I mean there were people who did like it, of course, but there weren't a large number of people who liked it. This movie, unlike the previous DC movies like Batman vs Superman and just and what came after Justice League, was a success. People liked this version of the movie. So there's no real demand for a better version of this movie because people like the shitty version of this movie. And so, and I don't think that cut would make it a better movie. I think the editing would be better. So it's like, I guess it would be a better movie because it has better editing. But it wouldn't be a better movie in the sense of like, oh, wow, the story makes sense now. The writing's better. The character's not feeling like they belong in the same universe is a lot better. If you want to see good versions of these characters, there's two great DC animated movies on HBO Max that you can watch. There's the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max, which you can watch, which again, that's there. And you can watch that stuff instead of this. I mean, they're all better interpretations of these characters. Um, and it's just awful. I don't even want to talk about this movie anymore because it's not fun to talk about. This isn't a fun bad movie to watch. It's these DC movies. The problem with them is they take themselves so seriously that even if I wanted to watch them for laughs, I couldn't do that because they're just boring. And I know there's people like, I like Harley Quinn. Yeah, I like Harley Quinn too, but this is not Harley Quinn. Because she's clearly over the top and a little ridiculous, but she's mostly just a sex symbol in this movie. Well, that's not what Harley Quinn is. That's never what she was. And it's just, she's just overplayed with it. It's ridiculous. Also, the performances in this movie are really bad. I think the only one who's mildly convincing is Will Smith, but that's just because Will Smith isn't a good actor, but he has charisma, and so he almost makes bad movies work. Like After Earth, with him in it, is just slightly better. I'm not saying that's a good movie, but I'm just saying. And the rest of the cast just does a terrible job. Margot Robbie, I think she tries. But I think the way she just delivers the script is awful. But yeah, that is this movie. Stay tuned for next week. We will be talking about the theatrical cut of Justice League. So Justice League, as some people call it.